Hello pirates, welcome to another video on how to build ships. This time we're going to talk about how to build Praetorians, and this is for beginners, people who just redeemed the Praetorian off of the Forsaken mission. So as I said, this is for players who just redeemed the Praetorians. They don't have the expensive armor, don't have the 70 million, 25 million armor, and want to move past the Inferno Dragon into the Praetorians as their main workhorse for the Forsaken mission. If you already have Praetorians, if you can already hit the top targets, this video is not for you. There's another video with an advanced build for Praetorians that's kind of like the end game with all the bells and whistles and all the components and upgrades and everything. Here's your list of ingredients before you can build that ship. So you gotta go into your Forsaken mission, get the Imperator Praetorian, the flagship, 6 million points. Get the Praetorian, 4 million points, just once. It's not a limited blueprint, that one. Get the pylon rockets just once, 2.5 million points. The Galea defense system, 2.5 million points. The last two guys are limited. You can only get 2 per week, and they are 2.5 million each. So for a fleet, you're gonna need overall 25 million points and at least 3 weeks to get 5 of each. So pace yourself. You don't need to redeem everything in this list in a single week. If you get the hulls, for instance, you can start building them, and the following week you can get points for the rocket or for the specials and so on and so forth. Build them all like this: the flagship, the 4 Praetorians, empty. It's 3 days only, and then you can suicide them on VXP weekend, for instance, using salty dogs to get them ranked. You can also keep an eye during raids and during pillages. They often offer build tokens, upgrade kits if you can, if you have the time and the right fleet. Get all of those. Get as many as you can. All right, so you're going to be ready to speed up your build and speed up your upgrades and get them done. Now, once you have the ships, you're going to refit the components on, because it's faster than building everything in the first time. So we're gonna go with 1 Gale 4, and if you don't have the Gale 4, you can use Gale 3. It's less accurate, so more mortars will fall through. 1 sprint, and the sprint will counter both missiles and rockets. Then you put 6 pylon rockets on. The Galea system special to improve the countermeasures and gives you also survival. Explosive battery, that's the limited one. If you don't have, you can use siege battery, you can use garrison battery. But really make an effort. If you have Inferno Dragons, it's not that hard. Get the explosive battery. Siege targeting 4, the green one here. Penetrative sync drive, it's the red one. It's available on FM. There is an explosive sync drive, but it's not available on FM. It's available in events. And sometimes it's harder to get because you don't have the right raid fleet. So I'm going with penetrative. And warhead reloader. This will give you damage and rocket reload. For armor, again, assuming you just got this technology, you likely don't have the F2XM armor because it costs 70 million points. And if you're scoring your FM points doing level 120, 121 targets, you literally have to do about 115 of them in 1 week to score 70 million points. It's crazy. So assuming you don't have that, use D1X and D1M armors. They're very lightweight. Each one will give 400 and something survival, and each plate builds in 1 hour. Run away. Do not use D5XM, D6X, D6M, D7M. They're better, but each one of them takes over a day to build. So it's gonna add, just if you try to use them for 6 slots, it's gonna add 7 days to your whole build time per ship versus 6 hours if you do this. So it's crazy. Don't use them. Use the simple one, the lightweight one, until you have the fleet running and you can go for the F2XM, because this one builds in 8 hours. Believe it or not, it's many times better than any of the alternatives. And in the time you build one of these, you can actually add 3 of these. Okay, so keep that in mind. The last slot, number 6. As usual, I left it empty. There are options, and let's discuss some of them here. If you don't think you're going to have an opportunity to rank your ship soon, So you won't have the reload bonus that makes your weapons fire 4 times faster when there's cold. Use cluster warheads 3. After you rank, you could change this for explosive system 4, and it's going to give you splash and projectile speed and stuff like that. Or you could go with the Hyper 30, because this is something I use in the end game build I'm going to talk about in the other video. I use Hyper 30 for the more speed, so I can outrun rockets, I can outrun anything that's splash and area based. It also gives you some evade, so you avoid certain missiles, and it gives you splash damage resistance, so that's a good one. If you don't plan on upgrading your ships anytime soon, because when you upgrade you gain survival, you could use MX3 or reinforced ablative armor or reinforced reactive armor. So my favorite, like for the end game, is Hyper 30, but it's limited, it's expensive. A lot of mid-level, low-level players don't have it. You may have noticed on the build, I'm using one Gale and one Sprint. I'm not using the MDS-3 or the Phalanx anti-missiles. The reason for that is both of them have their ranges increased by the specials, be it Countermeasure Loader 4, Hydroatomizer Nozzle, Gallia Defense System, they all increase the range of both. And the Sprints, they counter missiles and rockets, but have lower accuracy, because if you look at the special, the Sprint's a countermeasure, and the countermeasure doesn't gain accuracy, but the anti-missile and anti-mortar do. Problem is, the MDS-3 has a shorter range, so even though it gets a 77% bonus, the MDS, after you factor that in, is outranged by the Sprint. So the Sprint will always fire first anyway, so having the MDS there is a waste. Unless the Sprints are all reloading, the MDS won't fire. And you need the Sprint because of all the rockets. So how strong will these ships be with a lightweight armor, without upgrades and stuff like that? So it's enough that a lot of players, they put one ship per fleet, 5 fleets, they send them all out at the same time, and they keep pointing them towards 120s, and just let them kill it. Don't even go in. If you do that, pretty much every 10 minutes, you're going to be scoring 3 million points. Do that in parallel, and then, before you go to work or before you go to bed, put them together. They'll be somewhat damaged from all the 120s they've been hitting. And then you go and you hit a 125 or a 127 and you score big points and you take big damage, and then you repair overnight. Repeat that a few nights and you can at least get that armor, F2XM, to take this fleet to the next level. And once you take it to the next level, then you can go after the limited armor if you want. So after you have that build done, and you can get the code for the basic build in the video description, the next steps, as I mentioned, get the armor, the F2XM. It will make your fleet a lot stronger. And you only have to redeem it once, despite the stupidly high price point here. The cost is very high. And once you have that and you install that, then you might start going after the limited armors. In other events, because this is not on FM, try to get 5 Hyper 30. We're going to use that in the advanced build. Try to get at least 1 Hydroatomizer Nozzle, because we're going to use that in the advanced build. And as many build upgrade tokens as you get and the kits you need. So my recommended upgrade path, upgrade all 5 ships to U1. That gives you extra armor, they'll survive longer. You can do more, and it doesn't increase the repair time. So literally you can do more targets now for the same repair time. Upgrade the Flagship to U2 and then to U3, because you get a big damage bonus and splash bonus when you do that for all ships in the fleet. So when you get your Flagship to U3, your whole fleet gains an extra power level. All of a sudden, it's a big difference. Then you upgrade the remaining ships to U2. At this level, when you have the F2XM and you have 4 ships at U2 and the Flagship at U3, you can do the 139. I'm going to have another video with the advanced build, but this is it for now. Thanks for watching. This video here has my current end game Praetorian fleet doing the 139. The build is actually in there if you want to just copy and paste the build. And on the right here, there's the video with the advanced build. As soon as it's released, it's going to be inserted here. See you next time, pirates. Take care.